Well, hello everyone. I hope you are all having a fantastic Monday and are excited for this week to get started and to crush it. And so, Alita and Megan asked me to share, gave me no notice, was like, "Oh, hey, you're sharing tonight. Go." And I'm like, "You know what? I told Alita I'm ready whenever she needs it, and so I'm here for it. Let's go." And so I want to share a little bit about Gold School, and it was a lot of fun. We went out to Philly, and guys, we had a lot of people in that room that was a part of our team. It was so cool. I think we had the largest group actually, and it was amazing. Not just the training, but also just the fellowship. We had dinner afterwards. We had cake. We had cannolis. For those of you who missed out, Danielle brought cannolis from her bakery. It was phenomenal. Alec was there, and he actually joined and ate cannolis with us. It was so fun. So, but I wanted to talk to you about some of the things that I learned through Gold School, as well as some of the lessons that necessarily were not in Gold School, but I still took away. And I think this is a really important thing because being in this business for 7 years, it's like, am I really going to get anything out of this training? This is for new golds. Is it going to help me? Well, first of all, yes, it will. Because if you go with a mindset that you have everything figured out, then you are not going to grow as fast as you need to grow. I remember Megan, not my Megan, I forget her last name, but she was speaking. She was a diamond, and she talked about a system that she does with her team every morning. And I literally went up and I said, I want you to detail what you do because I love that idea. So I went to the Gold School with a belief and with a mindset of I want to learn. Does that make sense? Because the moment you're not learning in this business, you're dying. The moment you think you have it all figured out, there's people who are going to outgrow you. And so, even with all the mindset work I do, even though all the reading, all the business stuff that I'm a part of, I always know there's more for me to know, and I can glean from anyone. And my saying in this is I like to chew on the meat and spit out the bones. Even tonight, there's going to be some bones in what I say. There's going to be some things that I say that may not be applicable to your situation. That does not mean everything I say is not applicable. Does that make sense to you? So every situation, every conversation, every training, every book, I chew on the meat and spit out the bones. And so the part that stood out the most to me about Gold School was some of the questions that people were asking. And it wasn't necessarily their specific question, it was the spirit behind their question. And so that's what I wanted to talk about tonight, guys, because they were so afraid of the outcome of their action that it stopped them from acting. So the biggest takeaway was that we are more worried about the reaction or outcome of what people are going to say to us than the actual action in front of us. It's not the message to that person that's scary. It's how that person is going to react to that message that scares us. Put a 1 in the comments if that's what truly stops you. Because I believe asking someone if they're interested in Plexus is not a very scary message. Or asking someone if they're interested in the business or making more money is not a scary message. But what scares us is their reaction to it. And I want you to really sit in that really quick. Let's be honest. I want to hear some, I want to not hear, sorry. I want to see some of the things that you're afraid of. What do you think people are going to react to when you say, do you want to make an extra $300 to $500 a month? What's the worst they could say? Because y'all, fear of the outcome can be more frightening than the outcome itself because it's based on uncertainty and unpredictability. When faced with a situation, the mind, our minds, your mind, my mind, it comes up with all these possibilities, most of which are likely to be negative and most likely will not happen. So, Raquel, you just said the easiest one. The worst they're going to say is, no, I'm not interested. So, why are we so afraid to send that message? Because our minds are like, they're never going to talk to us again. They're going to think I only care about them for money. They think they're just another number. This is what our minds do when they lie to us. And it paralyzes us. Guys, so Genevieve actually had everyone in this group say for 5 minutes, I want you to send a hard message to someone, a bold message. And you know what one table did? They raised their hand and said, oh my gosh, they said yes. Now what do we do? Guys, the work we do, the tasks that we ask you to do, the IPAs, the things that we have, they work. This is network marketing. If you put in the work, they asked Joey and Cassie, who are under Caitlin's team, what are, they went fast start Ruby and fast start Gold. What are you doing? And you know what they said? We're just doing what Caitlin and Phil told us to do. They're just actually working. So I want to challenge you all today that I want you to stop putting off the things that you know you need to do because you might be afraid of the outcome that could happen. You're afraid of the rejection that could happen because you know what's actually really happening in that aspect? You're robbing that person of a potential blessing in their life. And I'm coming from experience of this. This is not a me judging or looking at you. This is something that I've struggled with even in my marketing business. I would have a lot of success in my marketing business and then I would paralyze because I'm like, "Oh my gosh, can I actually deliver on what I said?" And you know what got me over that hump? What got me over that hump was I was more fearful of settling for a life that is less than I felt that we deserved as a family. We were doing very well financially, but it's like, no, I'm called for more. I was more fearful of not taking action and not closing those deals than I was actually sending those scary proposals or sending that scary message to someone. Everyone has fear, but you need to train yourself that you can do it anyways with fear. That's going to be the key. I always say all the time with Megan that it's not that fear is not in Megan. It's that courage bubbles up and overcomes the fear that's inside. You don't have to feel good to do it. Because when you train yourself to have courage, when you train yourself to do it instead of fear, you do it anyways. Because you know the outcome is going to be great. So I want to challenge you guys to truly this week send some bold messages. And listen, we're in a chat that says energy bus. Y'all, I want some energy in there. I want to see your messages. I want you to be showing people this is what this person said. Because again, just like they did that night, I want to see the things where people say no, and I want to rejoice with you when they say yes. Because it's possible. So I want you to put a 2 in the chat if you're going to commit to be sending bold messages this week. And I want you to go for the no, but I want you to look for the yes. Does everyone understand what I mean when I say Go for the no, but look for the yes. I'm going to give you an example, just in case you don't. If someone says, I can't do that, I don't have time, do you know what they're really telling you? They're telling you if you fix the time issue, then they'll do it. But so many times we say, you know what, they said they didn't have time, so you know what, they can't do it. No. They said, if you solve the time problem, I'm interested. Some of you give up too easily. You're willing to send the bold message, but then it stops right there. Or they say yes and you don't follow through. Because now you're scared. I've been there, guys. I asked a business owner, can I send a list to all of your customers and get them signed up under you? And the person said yes. Now I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, this just got real. Now I have to come up with an email strategy. I need to do this because they actually said yes. I was so unprepared with them to say yes. And so I had two things that I could do. I could actually figure it out and actually do what was needed, or I could avoid it because now it's scary. I'm going into uncharted territories. There's no template for how I could email them. That's scary. Guys, there's times where we send the bold message and then someone says, yes, I want to know a little bit more. And then we don't follow up with them because we're scared, because they intimidate us. I believe everyone on this call is already doing the hard things. You're just not capitalizing on them. So I want this to be a month where we focus on capitalizing on the things we're doing. I want this to be a month where we say, I'm going to do follow through with the people that I'm reaching out to and my customers. Because y'all, that's what's going to change your business. I'm going to say some other things about the Gold School. You know, there were some other questions that I'm like, you know what? That person has physically asked me that question before, and they just keep asking the same question over and over and over. You want to know why? Because they're waiting for somebody else to tell them a different answer. Y'all, I want to challenge you here. You know what to do. You know the things you should be doing for your business. If I was on an individual coaching call with every single one of you, I would ask one question. What are you avoiding and why? And so I want to see some of the chats. I want to say, what are you avoiding and why? Because I can guarantee you're avoiding something. Because if you weren't, your business would be absolutely on fire. And even when your business is on fire, guess what's most likely happening? You're avoiding something. Because that's what happens. Our attention goes to where fire is. So who's bold enough to put in the chat what they're avoiding? Because what I want to challenge you with is you already know the things. Guys, the one of the other biggest things is the support that we have. The fact that you guys have Megan, Cheryl, Alita, myself, Rodney, the jewels that we have on our team, there was no other support like we had there. So there is no reason why we should be going without some of these things. Does that make sense? So I'm going to call some people out. Ian, I want to hear how many phone calls you make this week. I want you to chat me personally. I don't care. I want to see how many phone calls you're going to make and how many events you're going to schedule. Because here's the reality. I know you want this, And Ian, you and I have never talked personally, but you know what? Every single time I'm on Straight Talk and every time I'm here, I see your name. So I know you want this. So what are you avoiding and why are you avoiding it? So don't just put down phone calls and events, right? Why are you avoiding that? You know you want the success. What excuse, what are you saying in your mind that says, I can't have that right now, so I'm going to avoid this? You know, Michael, again, you're another person that I've never talked to you personally, but you show up every call. So why would you put your business in a place to where you're not going after the prospects the way you know you should be? Does that make sense? Like you're already investing the time. Let's just capitalize on what we're doing. And so I want to challenge you guys. Let's have May be a month that we are just going to do. We're not going to talk about what we need to do. We're not going to continue to say, you know what, I should be doing this. I should be doing that. Everyone on this call knows what they should be doing. And if you do not know what you should be doing, message me. I will give you a very good list of what to do. And it's what you've already heard. So Tasha, here's a funny story. You know, Megan was diamond. So she's diamond, y'all. And we're here in Tennessee, and she goes, I'm going to set up a sip and see. I've never actually done a sip and see for ourselves. We've always tagged along with other people. Does that make sense? Where it's like, hey, Caitlin's doing a sip and see. I'm flying, or Megan's flying up to Jersey. So we're just going to invite people to that sip and see. We've never actually said we are doing a sip and see and inviting people to. So she's diamond, Tasha, and invites people to our house. And no one shows up. It was very humbling. But you know what was also good? Was the mindset around it of, you know what? That's great. Because look at the dry run that we just had. You know what? You know, we got this charcuterie. We really like that. We did our pink drinks and all that, but you know, we should have put them in the fridge before. So now the next time when we did it, we actually had everything under control because we did a dry run that no one showed up to. So I'm here to tell you, even in the midst of what some people would say is a failure, we turn it to say, how can we continue to get better? I would rather do it and have no one show up and get better than not do it because I'm afraid of no one showing up. But here's the other thing I'm going to tell you, Tasha. It's the consistency. I would probably say the first two times you may have low numbers. You may not, but you may. But it's that third and fourth, when you start doing things consistently, people know, okay, this is not a flaky thing. This is something I can expect. Yeah, Michelle, you did a sip and see. It was the first one I've ever attended. I don't go to those things, you know, but I learned. Again, everything is learning. Everything is saying, how can I get better? I went to Gold School thinking, what can I get from this? I didn't go thinking I have it all under control. I ask you guys to be coachable because I'm also willing to be coached. Does that make sense? So open up your minds. And I want you to do some self reflecting. I want you to ask yourself, again, daily, what am I avoiding today and why? You know, there's some people on our team that joke, what would Phil do, right? Or what would Phil say? I want you to ask yourself, if you were, you know, Michael and Ian, you don't have a chance to talk to me. So if you have to do something, you're like, what would Phil tell me to do right now? Boom, I already know because that guy don't play around. Raquel's laughing because you know what? I will literally call her out on things. So I want you guys to ask yourselves, what am I avoiding and why? Because every single one of you wants success. Every single one of you wants at least emerald, but most likely diamond. And if that's what you want, why are you allowing your fear of the outcome to stop you from achieving the goals that you have for your life? You're so used to things not working that you're sabotaging your business. You're so used to the shoe dropping or the floor dropping out from under you that you don't know how to handle success. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm going to tell you another story. We're in Mexico, y'all. We earned our diamond trip to Mexico, and Megan's like, we're in our private villa, we're in our own pool, we're just living life. And Megan goes, "Hey, Phil, do you want to work right now?" I'm like, I don't care. Like, you don't have to ask me to work. Like, you bring up work, I'll do it. You know what I mean? So she goes inside, gets the laptop, and comes out, and she starts picking a fight with me. "I just want you to know I'm not happy with you right now." I'm like, what do you mean? "Well, we're working, and I'm not happy that we're working." "Well, you asked me to work. Like, I was swimming. You brought up working." But y'all, it's not her fault. Things were going too well. She was so used to the things not going well that she didn't know what to do. She was too happy. Guys, some of you are too happy with the success that you experienced. Some of you are too happy with the dreams that you're having that you're self-sabotaging your goals. So let's have May be a month where we say no more. I'm no longer doing this. I'm not going to avoid the things I know that's going to set my business apart. Because every time we set our goals aside, we're hurting us and our families. Every time that I allow that fear to win, I'm putting that fear in front of my kids. Yo, that's the part that broke me. That's the part that just shattered me. And I'm like, no more. There's an email today that I had to send that I probably, the old Phil, would have waited a week to send. Because I was so afraid of failing that I would avoid sending it so they wouldn't even work with me. But I said, my kids are too important for my fear to get in the way. So don't allow your fear to win over your family. So this is what I want this week. This week, I want to hear some of the things that you're doing. I want to see the wins in this chat, but I also want to see the failures in this chat. We need to celebrate the failures as much as we celebrate the wins, because it's not about the win, it's about the action. And even in failure, there's action. Does that make sense? So just like a toddler is going to fall down, I want to celebrate you falling down. One last story. There was a professor that was a pottery professor, and he had two different classes. The one class, he said, "I want you to create one masterpiece a semester." And the other class, he said, "I want you to create 1,000 or as many as you can pieces." The class that only produced one or tried to produce only one had the worst pottery out of the two classes. The class that had the major that had so many, they created so many that they were able to perfect from the failures that they learned, and they created thousands to where they had amazing pottery. Y'all, I want you to do as much as you can and learn through the failures. Are you with me? Let's no longer allow our family to take a back seat to our fears because it's not fair to them. And it's not fair to you. I truly believe in every single one on this call, whether we've talked or not talked. I see who shows up. So let's stop avoiding the things that we need to avoid. And let's make May a May for everyone to remember. Let's kill it, y'all. Have a great one.